Good morning, early Thursday morning, heading to what is probably one of the coolest startups or companies, tech companies in this country. And I don't say that often. Airobotics, autonomous drones. It's gonna be a crazy cool meeting. I think we planned this meeting 3 months ago. After that, going to meet one of the top VCs in this country, Glilot Capital. It's going to be a fantastic day. Tonight, we have a wedding of the son of a person I've known my entire life. And then the weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Let's do this. Made it to Airobotics, not your typical tech office. They make autonomous drones, so I wouldn't expect a typical tech office. Just looking for the entrance now. This place, I mean, talk about not typical tech company. Look how this looks. Frot, what's up? Morning. How are you? How long have we been planning this meeting?
You're so funny, sticking a camera in my face so early in the morning.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Before I even put my makeup on.
You have coffee yet?
I did,
Okay.
but we gotta have another one.
How long have we tried to have this meeting?
A year and a bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
You're like building probably one of the coolest tech companies, not probably, one of the coolest tech companies in Israel, so I forgive you.
Thank you.
I was gonna bring my drone and I was like, my drone is shameful compared to what's going on here. So I don't even know where to start when I talk about the unique elements of Airobotics. First of all, are those your glasses?
Yeah.
Can you put those on?
Sure.
Those are super duper cool.
I know, they're from Sea Eyewear in the US. They're like,
Damn.
I love them.
They're really
I
cool.
know, I
I gotta send you a link. All right, so let's start with the fact that I'm in Petah Tikva, which is in and of itself uncommon. Although I did work in Petah Tikva for a lot of years. I don't know if you know that. But I walk into this warehouse, as you guys saw. I mean, you wouldn't expect, probably I would say honestly, in all seriousness, one of, if not the hottest company in Israel right now, for a whole bunch of reasons we'll talk about. But this is a fraud. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Let's start with the fact that I'm going to be 38 very soon.
Oh wow, I just turned 39 last week.
Really? Do you feel old?
No.
Okay.
What are you talking about? I'm just getting started.
Just the number seems big to me. I don't feel old. It's
Come
just
on.
a big number.
What are you talking about?
So, and I live in Yavne and I work in Petah Tikva.
Yavne?
Yavne.
And I went to school there, right?
Really?
Kenan
You lived
Biavne.
there? How come?
I went to Kenan Biavne.
So I live in Yavne and I work in Petah Tikva.
Okay.
I have an 8-year-old son, Eitan.
My brother's name. Get out of here. Yeah.
And I'm a single mom, so I do the unbelievable when it comes. I only compare myself to myself. So I do the unbelievable of raising a kid and being in the executive management of a super crazy company.
That's a nice way. That's a good word to
long
call it.
hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it. I mean, that's a topic we'll talk about off camera. But okay. So what would you do before Airobotics?
I was heading the global marketing for Vaxis Orca, which is an Israeli-French company owned by Orange Group in Ra'anana. And before that, I founded the new media sector at the Israeli Export Institute.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
before Leah Biram.
My boy Ilan works there. You know Ilan?
Which Ilan?
Ilan Rosenberg.
Yes, I know him. Yeah,
Good guy.
yeah.
Anyway, okay. So
Before that, I used to live in Australia. I'm a software engineer.
Oh, you're like full of stuff. I didn't know any of
graduated
that.
from
What?
Monash University in Melbourne, doing computer programming. I worked for 3 years in the video games industry. I was a programmer for games for Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, PSP, Nintendo.
When did you manage all of this?
When I was young, I
Oh my
flew to
God.
Australia when I was 21.
I
I was there till I was 27. I have citizenship. I'm an Australian citizen as well.
Dude, I knew you were a rock star, but I didn't know you were that. I've never been to Australia. I'm dying to go. But anyway, all right. So you've been in Airobotics for how long?
Almost 2 years now.
2 years. How long has the company been around?
Almost 3 years.
Okay, so you're pretty early on.
Pretty early on, and I came in when we were in stealth mode.
Okay, and you guys are in Up West, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Up West is the
Shuli and Gil.
Shuli and Gil, who are the most amazing people on earth. They have a program for Israelis in Silicon Valley. Love those guys. All right, so
And more
they've had
people
some-
should know about them
Yeah,
because
they have
they're
some-
doing amazing
They have an
things.
amazing track record. Recently,
They have.
Yeah.
I asked Shuli, we met for coffee a few days ago, and I asked her how many portfolio companies they have now, and she said 70. So many.
it's insane.
And all of them go through the Silicon Valley phase where
Okay.
they're there.
So you were in Silicon Valley in Up West Labs. What happened next? How big is this company? How much money did you raise? How many people work here? What's going on? What are you building? What's the product? Talk to me. I'm
Where
shutting
do you
up.
want me to start? The product?
Product.
Okay, so we're building drones that are fully automated, that don't need a human pilot to operate them. I know you love drones and you operate your own, but imagine that you won't need to do that because you'll have a robotic docking station that with a click of a button, the drone will know exactly what to do without you flying it, without you landing it, taking the data off it, charging it, taking care of it. Everything will be done robotically.
Robotically meaning there's a center where someone's controlling it?
Yeah, meaning there's a big docking station that weighs 3 tons that the drone goes into, and then once it sits in there, there's a robotic arm that takes care of replacing the batteries, replacing the cameras on it, maintaining it, doing all the pre-flight checks. There are 3 servers in that docking station, and so all the data is offloaded onto the docking station and then analyzed and sent to the cloud.
I'm like in geek heaven here. Let's start with this. What buzzword does not apply to aerobotics? You guys do it all, right? Think about it. You're doing AI, you're doing drones, you're doing automation, autonomous, you're doing big data, you're doing cloud compute, you're doing it all.
Yeah, but I really hate buzzwords.
I know, I didn't mean it in a negative way.
No, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But the one thing to know about the drone industry is that it's so important to separate fantasy from reality, because so many people are talking about autonomous drones, and there is flying the drone autonomously. So once it's in the air, it flies on its own. That's one thing. But the other thing is automating the whole process, because you know how much manual work there is with a drone, right? It's a pain in the butt. So that's what we're automating, the whole pain in the butt before and after.
How many people work here?
Currently 180. Unbelievable. Yeah, when I started we were 70. Wait. No, not all here, about 10%, 15% in Australia.
Wow, why Australia? Oh, I know why, don't answer me.
Yeah?
Regulation, lack of regulation.
No, it's not lack of regulation, they have regulation.
No,
try again.
I'm saying easier, more lenient
related
regulation.
to the market, the vertical. Try to guess which one.
Australia?
Yeah. What does Australia have that we don't?
Space?
That's not the vertical. The actual industry that we work in.
Aviation?
No.
I have no idea.
Mining.
Oh God, I would never in a million
They have natural resources.
All right.
They have gold in the ground.
Let's just get this little elephant, and not elephant, but let's talk about this one awkward topic and get it out of the way. How much money did you guys raise?
Currently more than $61 million.
That's you're well funded.
Less than 3 years. We're well funded, but we're also building something that is super complex, probably more complex than the autonomous car.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Who do you know, if you could, off the top of your head, like who's your lead, who are your main investors, do you know?
So the last round was interesting because we added Microsoft Ventures.
Oh, wow.
And our crowd, and all of our previous investors. The leading investor was Blue Run Ventures in China. So we have a Chinese board member now, and he's the sister. It's a sister fund for Blue Run Ventures in the Silicon Valley, which is the first fund that invested in us in round 8.
Wow.
So it's Blue Run.
Oh, Medved got in on you guys. Medved, good work, man.
Yeah,
good work.
That's right. They were so persistent with us.
Smart people there.
And they work hard.
So what stage right now, and I know obviously because of the sensitivity, we can't talk about who your customers, but what type of customers are your customers?
I can talk about a few, and I'll tell you more about what type of customers we're targeting.
Yeah.
So currently, we the ones I can tell you about are Intel in Kiryat Gas, Israel Chemicals (ICL) in the desert, in the Negev, and South 32 is a mine in Australia. We have another mine, a big mining company we work with in Australia that we haven't announced yet, and we have a seaport we're working with in. And I'll tell you more about them. And we're also going into the Homeland Security front.
There's my next question. My main question here is, okay, autonomous drones, you had me at drones, you had me at autonomous, but why? What's the main primary use case of this thing?
Drones, automated drones, automated drones can provide huge value when it comes to giving you aerial data in mapping and surveying. So when you look at mining, for example, the drone can fly over an open pit mine and provide a 3D model of that mine, and then we can, by having a digital pit, a digital mine, we can do so many calculations. We can calculate the length and the angle of a whole road, for example. We can calculate how much volume there is in a stockpile. We can calculate...
That you can't get on the ground. You can't get that on the ground.
You can, but it just takes you a long time with manual.
Precise,
it's precise, it's fast.
What's interesting is, sorry for interrupting you.
And it's safer, by the way.
Oh, of course, right, yes.
Mines are dangerous places. Not just mines, construction sites. There are a lot of places that you don't want to send people to, and you do.
You know what I've noticed? I'm sure you know better than me, because I'm sure you do all day long competitive analysis and stuff like that, but I've noticed several serious companies in the droning space in Israel. It's a new thing, but there are quite a few. I mean, I met with AGBs. You know AGBs? Build software for drones, AR for drones. There's a company that we'll talk about off camera because it's sensitive, but it's or stealth in the drone space. There's that company that does IoT for, like, they put something on the drone.
Okay.
You for sure know them. Hardware. They put some, I forgot the name. Like not Sensibo is the.
Airobotics?
No. No, Israeli.
Yeah, Israeli. Airobotics is Israeli. They do something voice.
There's another one. You for sure know these guys. They did a Kickstarter. They were very successful. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them, but the flagship of the drone. I don't even know if you guys call yourself a drone company, but the flagship of that whole entire industry in Israel is for sure. Everyone that even mentioned. I was sitting with a friend of mine who shall remain unnamed, who's a big investor. Yesterday, I want to say, 2 days ago, and we were talking about the fact that Israel has yet to produce a Google, right? A really trillion, not a $1 billion, but a massive company at that scale. He said there are several of them that are potentially at that scale, and Airobotics was one of the first that was brought up.
Look, hopefully we're going to build something big here. The companies that we target as our customers are Fortune 500, so they have a lot of money to spend on technology like ours, and it's the old industry, you know what I mean? And they're looking to automate, looking to digitize their processes and to introduce significant operational efficiency, and we can do that.
How big is this drone that flies? I mean, what's the actual product? How big is it?
Our drone? Yeah. So the docking station is 2.5 meters square, and it's 3 tons, so it's huge. You'll see it.
It's a docking
You'll
station.
see it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the drone that sits inside is 180 centimeters from tip to tip.
It's nothing. It's like
180. It's almost 2 meters from tip to tip.
Oh, centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in this over 25 years.
1.8
I think I'd know centimeters by now, right? All right, so it's 180 centimeters, 2 meters, so that's like.
You saw it. It's quite big.
Okay, so I got it. All right. So
and it weighs 7.5 kilos, and it carries another 1 kilo of payload. So it's 8.5 kilos.
So is Amazon? I mean, you can't tell me, but Amazon's doing the whole shopping thing. Is that something that's on your radar?
Well, Amazon is doing a whole lot of testing around delivery of retail goods, and so they're in testing mode. We're commercial. Like we're working. We have logged until today more than 20,000 automated flights.
Jesus.
Certified.
The guy who started the Amazon Prime project in Israel is now the founder of EGPs. Actually. Okay. You should meet them. They knew you. I'm surprised you don't know them.
Tell me about them.
I'm going to introduce you guys. You should know them for sure. I mean, not in any way competitors, but you can collaborate. Okay, so so you run marketing here, right?
I'm happy to know competitors as well.
No, I'm saying you should know each other. Like you should have a cup of coffee.
It's so big, and there are not many companies, so there's room for everyone.
Your job here?
I try to be the VP of marketing.
You lead all marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, how big is marketing?
VP marketing.
How big is marketing here?
It's not big at all. I've just recruited a person in Australia, so we're currently 5-6 people.
So I'll tell you what. I'll tell you right now. As a marketer,
I started as a one-man show.
I'll tell you right now. When I open my LinkedIn, almost every single time I see your content. You're doing a very good job. I'm not kidding. When it comes to content, not about yourself, about the industry.
Yeah.
As a thought leader, you're doing an incredible job. Many people in this country and in general should learn from the way you do marketing. I think it's great. And I think you're doing what you're aiming to do is to establish this company as the thought leader, I always say, the Red Bull of the industry, and I think you're doing that. That's how I perceive it anyway.
Yeah, the positioning is definitely the number one goal. Mm-hmm. So we want to be positioned, and I think we are now, as the category leader in industrial grade drones.
Okay.
Right? Automated industrial grade drones. So that was one goal, positioning. The other goal is obviously building the network, and then lead generation, getting to the right people. And so my work, and this is why you see me so active on LinkedIn, because to me this is the number one channel. LinkedIn organically is the number one.
You guys do also a great job on the press. I see you all over the place. So
yeah, we are. PR is also a great channel. But
2 questions for you. One, we'll have to talk about off camera is how I can help you in any way. 2 is if somebody wants to contact you, whether it's an investor, a partner, or a journalist, or anybody that wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
They just find me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Yeah.
Easy. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm everywhere.
Efrat, what's spell your last name?
Fenigson, Femigson.
Okay, so Efrat, Efrat, that's her first name. Fen, like Nancy, Ig, like girl, S, Sam, O-N, Fenigson. I mean, listen, hopefully, I don't know what I can show, what I can't show. I'm going to twist her arm and let me show more in this company, because, I mean, you walk into this place, it's not like anything I've ever seen anywhere.
It's a hangar. It's a crazy hangar.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a little bit...
You know, we built the whole thing in 3 weeks.
You built this place?
Yeah. I mean, it was an empty hangar, and there was no infrastructure for electricity, for nothing.
You see, the cliche, right, of tech is like, we started our company in a garage. Like, I was actually in Silicon Valley 2 weeks ago. I was I'm not going to mention his name. We'll talk about it off camera. Someone you know who's actually relevant for you guys, working out of his garage, literally. Like, literally working out of his garage. And I'm saying, like, this is like one big, massive garage.
Yeah.
I love it. So one day
I'll take you to the second garage in a second. So we gotta be quick. Yeah, that's the test facility. That's where we fly.
You actually fly? Can you get on camera now?
Yeah, you can.
What are we wasting our time on the interview? Let's get out of here!
So I'm telling you about what our system is consistent of. It has 4 parts. It has the airbase, which is the docking station that has the robotic arm inside and different payloads.
Right.
The mast is for the weather station and the GPS.
Right.
Optimus drone carrying different types of payloads depending on the application.
Right.
And then the software takes the data from the drone, analyzes it, and it's also an operating system for the whole thing. So we sell that kind of end-to-end solution. Or better said, it's a service business model, so it's not a...
What is your business model? How does that work?
It's a service, so it's once a month the customer pays a certain amount of money based on the application and payloads they have, and they sign a long-term contract, and they basically subscribe to the data. So you said before, we're a drone company, we're a data company, right? That's how we see ourselves.
I'm kind of in love, just saying. And I'm not with her, she's okay, but this thing...
All right,
those glasses.
Let's go see what happens inside the docking station.
Let's do that.
Robotic arm and the whole shebang. If I do this now, people will think that there's food. It's like dogs, so I won't do it.
It's funny. So we're going to the secret testing facility right now, here in this black car. Very, very secretive CIA kind of stuff. Love it. We made it to the testing facility. I think there's gonna be some major geekiness happening right now.
Flying for 441 days straight.
Say that again?
You see that board?
This has been flying for 441 days.
That counter shows you how long it's been flying, and it's connected to a power source instead of a battery, so that it can fly continuously. Oh. And we're checking the M2BF, so how long it takes before something breaks down and if it's doing well.
But, I mean, why would you ever fly for 441 days straight?
We're checking. So we're checking the lifetime of the components. Okay, so you see it has a lot of bugs on it.
It's actually not so loud. Not so loud compared.
It's not very loud.
It's impressive. Okay.
Now what we're gonna do is we'll do a quick tour around.
I feel like I'm in a movie right now.
נראה את הטיסה ואחר כך אני אעשה לך סיור. This is the mast. This is the mast I told you about, like the weather station. Obviously, this came from the field, as you can see. The weather
straight
station.
Out of James Bond, man.
Okay, let's go upstairs because this drone is going to fly soon. That goes out from Airobotics system around the world, and if there's any anomaly or anything talking about AI, so the engine we've got is running all of our flight logs through that AI engine, checking to see if there are anything that is unpredictable, that is anything that goes wrong, and then we can stop things before they even happen. So you asked about failures or accidents. That's why we don't have any.
I meet a lot of geeky people and I see a lot of geeky companies. Airobotics takes the cake. This is like,
This is like the Tesla command center, so you can
geek heaven. Geek heaven. Love it.
These are the first two models of our product. So it started here with a prototype 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So the concept was just a drone in a box, that's it. That's what we wanted to prove. And then we developed the beta version, which is automatic landing and launching, but it charges inside this beta. And so when it charges, it's 5 hours. We wanted to shorten that time, and so we said, okay, we're going to swap batteries instead of charging. And once we developed that robotic arm, we said, why just replace batteries? Let's replace the cameras as well. So it became a multi-tool. This huge thing is a climate chamber. And this is the biggest climate chamber in the Middle East.
What's a climate chamber?
A climate chamber is a huge room that we can control the temperature and the weather conditions inside that chamber, and we fly the drones inside, and we take the temperature down to -5, which is hard to get in Israel, and we take it up to 50 degrees Celsius. And so the drone is being tested in these kind of weather conditions with dust, with wind.
And it can fly 50 degrees?
Yeah. There's air conditioning inside the dock, so it keeps it cool. But yeah, so that's a climate chamber we built, and let me show you where we manufactured the drone.
Now I understand why they had to raise $61 million. I was thinking more like $610 million.
See why it's as complex as an atomic
Unbelievable.
car. It's not. And the last cool thing I'm going to show you.
Tell me before.
From here.
Yeah.
See this car?
Yeah.
So this is a wind turbine that we built. We wanted to test the drone flying in really strong gusts of wind. So we didn't have a strong enough turbine, so we built one. We took that massive...
What kind of winds do you get there?
30 knots, 40 knots.
Which is a mile
And we
per hour.
bought a van, because we needed a strong engine, so we bought a van, we took it apart, and we connected the turbine to the van, and now we started the engine, and we got really
So awesome. So freaking awesome.
And we painted it to make it look cool.
Dude, I want to move in. Can I move in? So damn cool. All right.
So,
Gotta turn off the camera because it's raining. Thank you, Efrat. You're awesome. We're gonna turn this off and we're gonna talk about if there's anything I can do to help you, because I don't think there is, but this is for sure the sickest company I've ever seen. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Just left, heading to Herzliya now to Glilot Capital, one of the top VCs in the world. Efrat gave me this on the way out, a goodie bag. I will unbox it or unbag it later. Gotta run super late to my next meeting. Just made it to Glilot Capital. Before we start our meeting, you could basically see like the entire tech scene from their office. Check this out. You could see AppsFlyer there in the background, one of Israel's fastest growing companies. And my boy Oren.
I'm Kobe.
The Kobe.
The Kobe.
What's your job here? What's your role here? What's your title here?
I'm one of the founders and a general partner with Glilot Capital.
All right, we're gonna talk about this at length. But Glilot Capital, correct me if I'm wrong, Glilot Capital has one of, if not the best, returns in all of Israeli VCs.
Yeah, in the last report we kind of get ranked actually the higher of any VC worldwide. So it's pretty.
What?
Pretty
Worldwide?
Awesome. Yeah, for our vintage. For 2010, 2014.
The highest returns of any worldwide VC? Higher than Sequoia, higher than Benchmark, higher than Lightspeed.
They're
Excel.
bigger than us, so it's much more difficult.
They have to return a much more larger amount.
So
there you
it's
go.
easier.
Need
But,
another cup of coffee. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So who do we see from here? Give me a little tour before we start our
Actually,
meeting.
this is the Apple building.
Where's the Apple building?
This white thing over there.
This big white building in front of us? That's the Apple building. Okay.
This is like the new, relatively new. This is the very new GM offices down below.
Oh yeah, this is General Motors. Look at that.
Exactly.
You can't really see it on the camera though. Okay, cool.
Our building is actually the Dell building, and we have EMC RSA back there.
This is like the entire tech scene right here.
Exactly.
Love it.
We have Microsoft over there. It's
Very cool. All right, I'm gonna turn this thing off and we're gonna say, hey, Abgar, what's up?
Hey, good morning.
But we were just talking about the returns of Glilot. We'll talk more about it, but I'm gonna turn this thing off and we'll sit down. Who are you?
I'm Eyal.
Introduce yourself.
Eyal Bali, sir.
What do you do here?
I'm the principal of the fund.
Nice. You're doing a good job. What do you deal with deal flow?
Yeah, well, I'm analyzing the whole new investment opportunities and, spearheading the whole due diligence process within the fund.
Love it. All right, I'm turning this thing off and we're gonna sit. Like I said, today is quite a spectacular day. This morning was Airobotics, crazy company, and now I'm sitting at a VC in Israel that, you'll forgive me for saying this, chances are you might not have heard of, which would make sense if they didn't have ridiculously unbelievable performance and numbers, which they do. So it's kind of crazy. So that's what we talked about. But where are we? What is Glilot Capital? Who the heck are you? And give me some of your portfolio companies. Talk to me about this fund.
Well, so I'm Kobe, one of the founders of Glilot Capital. We're a venture fund focused in Israeli innovative companies, and we have created our unique model, started about 6.5 years ago, created our unique model that is based on three things. One is that we invest only in areas that Israel has an unfair advantage. So, there are great technology people here, but there are specific areas like cyber, big data, AI that we think there's a unique advantage here. So we try to focus only on those areas.
Right.
That's one. Second is in terms of creating value.
Yep.
We invest a lot of efforts. Actually, most of our efforts is invested in helping our companies and creating value. That's the time of me and my partner Arik goes mostly to helping the companies. It's infrastructure in the US to help companies.
But I'm gonna forgive me for interrupting you. When I hear those words, I have like a reflex. You know what my reflex is? To roll my eyes. You know why? Because everyone says that.
Yeah, you're so right. And me as a young entrepreneur, also investors said it to me, and also honestly, in most cases, they don't deliver because they have so many things on their plates and they just try to do everything.
So you guys don't just actually say that. I mean, again, everyone says they don't only say that, but you really don't only say that. What do you have here?
So that's why we have a different model. We have created a model that is all about this, and it's partly is because we invest only in very specific areas. So we think even if you are super talented, you cannot really help if you're doing consumer stuff and a little bit semiconductors and a little bit whatever. So, but if you're very focused and all your companies are roughly similar markets, then you have the ability to help because you develop some
you acquire expertise.
Exactly. So that's one. Second, we don't invest in too many companies. So typically, funds that will do seed stage, which is what we do, would say let's invest in 20, 30 companies. So we have a big portfolio, so we can, so even if only 1/10 is working, we'll have 2-3 good companies. We're completely the opposite. Even that we're seed, we do a handful of companies, so we have time to help them, and we say because of that we'll have a very, very high hit rate, not the other way around.
So while we were sitting here like 5 minutes ago, I know I shouldn't check my email when you're in a meeting, but I couldn't help myself because my phone was buzzing. So I checked my email, and it was an email from a journalist that said to me, who are some cool companies in Israel doing cool stuff with AI and bots in the retail space? Okay. And I said, Exceed AI.
Yes, very cool.
Portfolio company of yours, Elon, a good friend of mine, love the guy. And another example of an entrepreneur that I love and I've accompanied and I've helped, and the way to do business, like we talked about before, the Canvas strategy. He knows, we have a good relationship. I don't want anything, even if he gave me money, I wouldn't take it. I love the guy, I want to help him. Same thing with Hagar who's sitting behind the camera. We're going to get in front of the camera in a second, but we'll talk about you in a second. But point is, you guys are very focused on that. You're focused on giving, you're focused on value, and that's amazing. Talk to me about this recent report that just came out, which is crazy.
Yeah, so it's a report by a company called Preqin, and what they do is they monitor all alternative assets around the globe. So it's not just VCs, private equities, real estate funds, and so forth. And one of the things they monitor is VCs, and within our vintage, that's 2010 to 2014, they monitor probably something like 12 or 13,000 funds, and actually we came number one in terms of returns. So number one out of more than 10,000 funds, it's actually quite exciting for us.
A little bit exciting.
Yeah, very much exciting.
I mean, you said 8 investments, 8 out of 8.
Yeah, so our first fund, only 8 investments. Again, remember, it's part of our strategy not to
laser
invest
focused
too much.
Right.
All of them other than one pure seed, so very, very early. We had 5 exits already, so company 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 we sold, all with profits.
That's
some
crazy.
Great profits, some amazing profits, some only small profits, but all profitable.
That is crazy. Like that in and of itself. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
8 companies, 5 exits.
You know what makes me most proud? I was an entrepreneur for most of my career. Most entrepreneurs with other VCs go home without money in their pockets because only 1 out of 10 companies will be successful.
Right.
And even then, in many cases, the entrepreneurs almost are left with nothing.
Right.
In our case, 14 of our first 14 entrepreneurs actually went home with money in their pockets.
Wow.
The only company that did not sell, the entrepreneurs made money even so.
Wow.
So it's for me it's most important because it is important for us that of course that our investors will be happy, which they are, but also the entrepreneurs will be happy that they've chose us because good entrepreneurs can choose other VCs as well.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. So let me just ask one very specific question because I want to keep interviews short and people have ADD today. If I'm an entrepreneur and I'm looking to raise funding right now, when, if at all, should I speak to Glilot? What are you looking to invest in? What kind of entrepreneurs, what kind of companies, what kind of checks do you write? Talk to me about your investment strategy.
So first answering the when thing, as soon as you want, we like to, even if it's just, you just wanting to start something, you're not even sure what the idea is, we like to meet with bright people early on to help them, because it helps us helping him, and then, we could even influence the direction. You see so many people that are smart but making wrong decisions from day one. It just breaks your heart to see great people.
So no stage is too early for you guys?
No stage is too
Love
early.
it.
In terms of amount, today we typically start with around $2 million. And again, we do only software and only software for the enterprise. So consumer is not so much us.
Only enterprise?
Only enterprise.
What's the cutoff? Like if I'm a B2B company but I'm not hitting enterprise, is that on your...
No, so B2B. So maybe saying enterprise is not the correct term. Is not consumer stuff.
Okay,
so
B2B.
Anything that's B2B and you sell to an organization, not to a person.
Right.
And we always look for deep technology, not something that's not deep. But as said before, feel free to connect with us. We'll be very open. If it's not relevant for us, we'll say that it's not relevant.
What's your website? GlilotCapital.com. And can people? I don't know if you want to do this, but if not, is there any email that people could send a deck? If they have a deck they want to send it to, who should they send it to?
They can send to me, to Agar. We're very open. We like.
You're okay giving your email? I have 15 million viewers. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have 15 million viewers.
No.
What's your email?
My email is Kobi, K-O-B-I.
At GlilotCapital.com. K-O-B-I at GlilotCapital.com. Don't bombard him, but if you have a deck, make sure your deck is good. Yeah. You're building something, even if it's early, send it to Kobe, because there really aren't that many VCs, definitely in Israel. There are a lot of great VCs in Israel, but there are not many VCs in Israel that really, A, have had this track record and B, focus on value like they do. And even in the world. So it's pretty awesome to see, and anything I can do to help, you gotta let me know, man.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me in your office. Very nice office.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. And it's a wrap. It was a great day. It was a ridiculous week. See you next week.